I am Judge David Spurgeon from Allegheny County, running for the Pennsylvania Commonwealth Court. I think three things that everyone knows about me, probably professionally, is that I am the only highly recommended candidate for the Pennsylvania Commonwealth Court. I've been sitting in Allegheny County for the last 5 years, and I've never had a case overturned, any decision that I've made. I believe that people probably know I'm a national expert in the area of domestic violence, and that I've been named a National Judicial Fellow. Personally versus professionally, I think that's probably where we would go in terms of that. I spent 4 summers in college working on a roller coaster in an amusement park called Kennywood Park right outside of Pittsburgh, and it was called the Racer, and that was something that two cars competed with each other, and I tell people that was my first judicial decisions, as deciding which car got to win, the left or the right. I speak German. That's something people probably don't know. And I am the youngest of 3 kids, and there's exactly 13 years between my sister and I. So she graduated from high school, and the following year I started kindergarten. So I was a little frustrated with watching what had happened over the last couple of years in terms of the political spectrum. Commonwealth Court is one of the most overturned courts in the nation. So because of that, I thought that I could bring a different perspective to that court, and I could bring some good thoughts and some good values, as well as some good decision-making processes. And that's something that court needed. That court is not very balanced. It has 7 Republicans and 2 Democrats. And sometimes people seem to fall asleep on the judicial races, especially the year following a presidential election. So one of the things I've liked to do, and I've continued to do when I was a trial lawyer as well as a judge, is systems change. So I like to try to make the system better than I found it. And that's one of the reasons I was actually named a National Judicial Fellow, was for my judicial leadership and trying to identify issues that needed to be changed within our own county system, and trying to implement ways to do that, working in the form of teams and shareholders and a variety of ways. But I think that I could do that as well on the state level. And one of the things that we've learned, if we've learned anything during this pandemic, is that the courts have to adapt and they have to change. And I'm not sure they would have done so without the pandemic. But I've been presiding from my house for the last year. And I think that we have more people participating in the court process because of that. And I think one of the things that I would like to look towards is whether or not we can use some advanced communication technology to make the court systems more inclusive for everyone. I think, one of the things that we're always talking about is how can we get people more engaged. And one of the things, I consider myself to be a servant leader, meaning that I'm actually out in the community. I'm not just sitting, wearing a robe on a bench somewhere and then I'm done for the day. I like to be out in the community and give people opportunities. I am a judge in an area that has 43 judges in our jurisdiction, and I'm the only one that lives from one particular region out of all of them. So my goal has always been to engage not only high school students, but people in my community, because if you don't have somebody, a friend or a relative or somebody that's involved in the court system professionally, you oftentimes don't think that you have the opportunity to do that as well. So I think engaging people, I love to have interns that are from my own community and my region, because I think that gives somebody the opportunity that they wouldn't have had I not been on the bench from that region. So I am Judge David Spurgeon. I am the endorsed Democrat by the Pennsylvania Democratic Party. I am the only candidate on either ticket that is rated highly recommended by the Pennsylvania Bar Association. I'm endorsed by the Pennsylvania AFL-CIO, most of the labor unions throughout Pennsylvania. I grew up in a working class family. I was a union member myself, just like my dad, and I think that we're going to bring a good perspective to the Commonwealth Court, which deals with everyday issues for everyday people, and we need to put some everyday people there, and I'm one of them, so thank you.